Today on why David Zaslav is an idiot.
Why?
Why this time? Like number 30.
I mean, I don't have
number
to.
35.
What's reason number 4,342 for the reasons why David Zaslav is a stupid idiot?
Well, today it was reported that the streaming service known as Max is going back to its original title, HBO Max, over the summer.
Insert sound clip. Wah, wah, wah.
In a move that should have never been done in the first place because it was stupid.
Like, literally nobody called it that, or they just called it HBO.
Right.
Oh, remember when Conan was on Hot Ones, and at the very end he kept on dissing Max, and how the name was changed from HBO Max?
Yes, I remember that. I think I saw that one. That's great.
Funny. I mean, we all knew that this guy was a fucking idiot, but this is more proof.
I say if I ever do get that streaming service again, it'll be when David Zaslav is gone.
Which, unfortunately, I don't think is going to be anytime soon.
That's fine. There's not a one on there that I am really missing, so
that's true.
We can only hope. But so Max is detransitioning back to HBO Max.
Yes. Crazy, stupid Max.
It's just like something that shouldn't have been done in the first place, and the guy's just a stupid moron. Just a nice way to insult a guy that none of us have never met personally, but we've talked about him time and time again on this podcast.
Yeah, he's we don't like him.
Fuck him.
Well, he tried to shut down Turner Classic Movies. So
he did, and he got rid of Looney Tunes on the streaming service.
Right, and being a jerk to Sesame Street. Like, who's a jerk to Sesame Street besides a certain group of people that shall remain nameless?
That, and he also canceled the Batgirl movie as a, quote, tax write-off.
Right, and that Scooby-Doo Christmas movie.
Like, dude, just say, like, you don't want it to be released. You don't need to, like, come up with these fucking, like, stupid terms.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a feeling in a year or two, one of those streaming services is going to shut down. I just don't know which one it's going to be.
Probably, okay. People like Peacock, so I don't think it's going to be that.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus is ass unless you watch it on your phone.
Correct, yeah. I would
Why
say
would you
Apple,
watch it on your fucking phone?
I would say Apple, but they have so much freaking money that they won't shut it down.
Yeah, like they keep coming up with new things, so
and I don't think it'll much. They have so much money, so.
And I don't think it's going to be Netflix because it's still probably the most well-known and profitable streaming service right now. If I had to guess, I'm not. I haven't looked at the numbers, so don't quote me on that. But it's probably the most prolifically well-known streaming service of all time.
And you're probably right on that.
Yeah, and it was like probably the first one or the first major successful one.
And they're so dumb because like they insist on putting football games on there now on Christmas.
Also, their CEO said some stupid stuff about theaters recently.
Oh, the Netflix one?
Yeah.
Well, then fuck him.
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
He said movie theaters are outdated and won't survive.
Well, so are you, man.
I know.
Alex coming in with some harsh words.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, welcome to the pod. Welcome to the pod.
Yes.
Hope you all having a good summer. It's the unofficial beginning of summer.
Yes, by the time this comes out.
It's now officially warm. The sun is chirping, the birds are shining, and you can go outside.
Yay!
You can go outside.
I heard the way Matt said it. I liked that. The birds are shining.
The birds are shining. The sun is chirping.
Speaking of Warner Brothers, wasn't there a recent Warner Brothers film that was pretty big?
Yes. Sinners.
Sinners! We get to talk about Sinners in our annual Kino Therapy segment. We recommend, I guess.
Right, and a movie that we haven't done this in a while, like Alex said, we haven't all talked about a recent movie we've all seen.
There really hasn't been that many.
Yeah, this year's been kind of mixed.
It's
so
been
far.
It's a slow beginning, I will say that.
Yeah, particularly slow it seems, but things will pick up because, as Matt said, it's summer.
It's summer.
And this movie, Sinners, it actually swapped release dates with the Bong Joon-ho movie, Mickey 17.
Oh wow, that was a good decision.
Because this movie was supposed to come out in March, and then they were like, "Yeah, we'll swap the release dates."
Oh, and I think they got a better release. Even though it seemed slow going at first, it then got bigger through word of mouth and is currently the 5th highest grossing film of the year.
Yes.
Yes, it's a very surprise hit that's had really extremely good legs, particularly for a movie that comes out in the spring and summer.
Behind Captain America: Brave New World, Detective Chinatown 1900. That's a Chinese comedy mystery buddy film.
Mm-hmm.
The Minecraft movie, and Ne Za 2.
Mm-hmm.
The Minecraft movie is already on VOD.
Yeah,
are you shitting me?
Deadass.
That's a little fast. Wasn't it still doing well?
Yeah.
Has it crossed?
That's gonna hurt.
Has it crossed 1 billion yet?
I actually don't know.
It crossed, I think, 900 million over the weekend. I don't know. It might just miss hitting 1 billion.
Which this is a movie I have not seen.
Which I think would be funny if it doesn't make 1 billion. Because like, oh, this is probably one of the worst movies to make $1 billion.
Well, with the director being an asshole and saying it's okay to trash theaters and.
But anyway, let's get back on Sinners.
Yes.
So it'll be so much better than talking about Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a movie directed by Ryan Coogler, who directed Creed, Black Panther, Fruitvale Station, and
the other Black Panther film.
He did do the other Black Panther movie.
Yes, Wakanda Forever, yep.
But now he's gotten away from the big IPs, and he has now done an original film.
But also, if you've noticed, Michael B. Jordan is in every single one of his movies. I don't know if that's something you guys have picked up on.
Just two guys, two friends.
Yeah.
Working together,
I was going to say Fruitvale Station is a original movie, but it was based off of a real event. So, yes, you're right. Sinners is an original movie.
Well, I wasn't disputing that it wasn't an original. The first one wasn't an original film. Creed's an IP film, and Black Panther is a Marvel film. That's why.
Yes.
Anyway, should we talk about what it's about?
So, yeah, why don't you do it? I will fuck it up.
All right. So, Sinners is a period piece. It's a horror film, kind of horror action film set in the early 30s in good old Mississippi. Jordan, Michael B. Jordan is he plays twin brothers, so he's got a dual role. So it's kind of one of those like Peter Sellers in Doctor Strangelove or Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap kind of situation where
Yeah.
they play where two people play different characters. Well, one person plays two different characters rather. They travel back to their hometown. They were like gangsters up in Chicago. They're named Smoke and Stack. So they're these really like violent kind of, but kind of charming gangster types. And they come down with a big thing of prohibition booze. And they hire a bunch of people because they want to open up a juke joint for all the people in the local black community of which they lived in. The first half of the film is them getting together everyone, including their cousin Sammy, who is this guitarist who's actually really good at playing the guitar and playing that nice blues.
Yes, and it was this actor's first movie too.
And what's his name?
Sammy.
Miles
Canton,
the actor, I think.
Yeah, Miles Canton. Catton.
Yeah.
So this movie... Yeah, go on.
Oh, yeah. So the first half of the movie is them interacting with a bunch of people that they used to know, or trying to get people to work in the juke joint, and it trying to prop that up and to have it be a very successful business. So you think it's this really good music-focused period piece with a lot of high points having to do with the black community, blues music of the time, and then right in the halfway point, it turns into a fantastic action horror film. Take it away.
Yes. One of the people in this movie is Haley Steinfeld's in this movie as well, as one of the people that becomes part vampire. Is that a way to put it?
Yes, they're basically vampires. It's a vampire movie.
But it's like very cool movie.
It's and it takes a different take on the vampire lore as well, with them kind of multiplying and kind of being a hive mind, which I've not seen before in a vampire movie.
Yeah, they also share memories or stuff, which I never saw before either.
And one of the people, I think, Delroy Lindo is in this movie too, I think.
Yeah, he was great in the movie. Played Slim.
If there's one thing I will say about this movie, this is what had me give it the rating it did. I just felt like the ending, like the end credits scene, it went on for like at least 10 minutes.
Okay, yes, everyone, if anyone's watching this who's listening to this who hasn't watched it, you're going to have to stay by for the at the very end of the credits, because there is an end scene that right after the sort of, not end credits, but like the that
Credits.
the first credit scenes in the movie. I feel like if you just leave, you don't get that sort of catharsis you get from the ending. I won't spoil it for everyone.
I saw somebody left immediately when it went to the credits. I'm like, buddy, like...
If it's one of those movies where it shows like the director credits like at the end, I sit through that in case there's a scene.
Yeah, I always have sat through that and see people that were in the movie, and then I proceed to leave if I'm not expecting an end credit scene.
Right. But this movie, I wasn't expecting.
Immediately leave. It's just crazy.
I mean, I saw like a scene. I was like, oh, this is probably like a little 2-minute scene that explains something. But I don't think it was really 10 minutes, but it went on for a while. But you're gonna want to see it.
Yeah, I feel like in terms of finality, it's important, but So yeah, so don't miss that. But is
No.
there anything that you really loved in the film, or something that you want to note in the film?
Well, kind of obvious. The musical score
Yes.
was awesome. Ludwig Göransson did an excellent job again. He also has worked with Ryan Coogler for like all his movies. I learned that I watched a video yesterday, actually, preparing for this episode, that they actually were college roommates, I think.
Really,
Ryan
that's interesting.
Coogler and
Yeah,
Ludwig.
and Ludwig Göransson, yeah. They were college roommates, and he's worked on all his movies. And this movie, he actually was a producer on, Ludwig, so kind of cool.
Kind of like how Michael B. Jordan acts in all of his movies. But
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah,
that's nice.
music I definitely thought was a strong point for the movie.
Yeah, it's mix of blues and folk. There's some Irish folk music in there as well.
Hmm.
Um, really good. I know it's really evocative of this sort of time period in the Mississippi Delta where there was a lot of blues musicians uh, hanging about it around that time. A lot of real famous ones. The one that comes to my mind is Robert Johnson.
Hmm.
For those of you who don't know, Robert Johnson is one of the most famous blues musicians to come out of the Mississippi Delta. He would mostly perform on street corners and juke joints, kind of like as we see in the film. He only has like less than 30 songs to his name, and some alternate takes that kind of survive of those songs that would eventually, that were recorded onto 78 uh, RPM singles, um, that would eventually be on like records later on. But there's a bit of mystique to him because not much is really known of him. There isn't too many photographs of him, and he died really young at the age of 27. The one thing that is known is a myth that's associated with him. The idea that his musical talent was given to him as part of a deal that he made with the devil, selling his soul to the devil at the crossroads at midnight, um, to gain his sort of proficiency at the guitar. And he had a very particular style, which really helped with his sort of the way he uh, with his hands. He had longer fingers, so he was able to really be able to use to pick at the guitar and stuff like that. So Robert Johnson is a very interesting historical character because he has this whole myth, the whole devil selling his soul. Yet that whole like stupid thing about conspiracy of the 27 Club
Yes.
kind of starts with him, since he passed away at the age of 27 from allegedly being poisoned by a jilted husband of someone, of a girl that Johnson fell in with. So
very
That's
cool.
bad.
so
But yeah, he's a cool guy.
but that yeah
I've heard of
that's
him.
Yeah, so if you know the song like Crossroad Blues, Love in Vain, so inspired a lot of musicians from Keith Richards to Eric Clapton and all them. So very influential in the rising of uh, rock music as well, and very influential in blues, especially from the Mississippi Delta.
And it kind of goes into, I won't give too much away, but I really loved that scene. I think you liked this too, Matt, where it showed like the eras of black music. That scene, I thought that was a cool scene. The way they did that.
Oh yeah, that was a good scene too. So, and I really like the sound in this film. I saw it in
Mhm.
IMAX, uh, so I really recommend seeing it in this IMAX. The cinematography is
Oh
also
yeah,
really beautiful at times.
that looks
Like
like a movie that'd be really good in IMAX.
the way it shows like landscapes and stuff like that. I gotta watch this video. Ryan Coogler did a about 10-minute long video explaining aspect ratios that I really gotta see. So
as long as he's not annoying about aspect ratios like Michael Bay is, then
probably not. But I want to check out his video. So the cinematography was done by someone named Autumn Dernald Arkapaw. She is from San Francisco. She's of Filipino descent. She's worked with Max Mahingala and Gia Coppola, and also did the cinematography for Wakanda Forever.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that was another thing I was going to say I liked about Sinners was the cinematography, and all the acting was really good too.
Yes.
I liked Haley Steinfeld in the movie more than I thought I would.
Yeah, she fit well into the movie.
And it did take me a while to figure out that Michael B. Jordan was playing two characters because of the twin brothers and all this.
Man, they really found someone that looked exactly like Michael B. Jordan.
It took me a while to figure that out. But like you were saying, it's like Parent Trapping or.
I wish they were in more scenes together.
Yeah, I did notice.
There was a lot of scenes they weren't like in together. I don't know if that was because of the budget or what, but
I did notice.
It does help that. Well, luckily, I feel like there is a distinct difference between Smoke and Stack.
Yeah,
which are really great nicknames.
Oh yeah,
Smokestack.
And plus, I feel like it would have been like confusing if. Well, it probably would have been more like expensive if they, did have more scenes together.
I know. I think the budget was already like $90 million, which is crazy. It's like, and then people were making jokes. So like, this movie primarily takes place in a barn. How did it cost $90 million to make?
Oh, another thing that this movie does is, you might remember when we first started doing this pod, our friend Ben said that there was this trope in movies that he hates when they show the end at the beginning. This movie does that.
But I feel like it doesn't show too much.
Right.
And it's not like a narration like how did we get here or something like that.
Oh yeah, not like that. No.
I feel like there are movies that shows the end at the beginning well, and movies that do it poorly.
And this movie actually does it pretty well. Kind of gives you an idea of what's going to happen in the movie.
Yeah, so the opening scene, I don't think I'll spoil. It's going to be too much of a spoiler.
Yeah.
So the cousin of Sammy, who's played by Miles Catton, is known as Preacher Boy because his father, the uncle to the Michael B. Jordan characters, is a preacher, and he wants Sammy to fall in line and be a preacher as well, and leave the guitar behind because that's the devil's music, right?
Right.
Well, we start the film and he's doing his sermon that he's doing, and in walks Sammy, clothes tattered, scar running across his face, bleeding, and his guitar is destroyed. We see like edited clips very quickly so it doesn't register too much of the horrors that may have like happened the night before, and then eventually it cuts to 24 hours before this happened. So not only does it leave us in suspense of what's going to happen and the direction in which Sammy needs to take, but it kind of is like, what the fuck happened for him to look like this?
Right. That's a good way of putting it. Is there anything else about this movie we want to point out, or?
I thought it was similar to From Dusk Till Dawn.
I didn't get that vibe until you just said that just now. I didn't think of that.
I mean, obviously less comedic, but
Oh yeah, definitely.
but I remember seeing it. I'm like, this reminds me of something. And then after I got out of the movie and I was looking at what people thought of the movie, people were saying it reminded them a little bit of that movie, which makes a lot of sense because that's also a vampire movie that has a climactic battle with vampires in like a bar juke joint. So yeah, I thought it was an excellent movie. I wasn't like crazy about seeing it when I saw the trailers, but I'm glad I didn't didn't listen to the trailers and went to see this on a whim, and I'm glad I did.
Yes, me too. I will say this: our friend Caleb, he posted a review of this movie, and I got like so confused for a minute because he was talking about Josh Allen
Yeah, why was he doing that?
because he's getting married to Haley Steinfeld, who's in the movie.
Oh yeah,
What is he? Is he jealous? No,
I forgot about that.
I think he is jealous, Matt. You're right.
No, Caleb, you're not. I don't think he's going to listen to this, but if he does, Caleb, it's perfectly fine. Okay. Last thing I say, Sinners is very interesting in how it functions as a film to showcase community through various means, like through the Black community and culture, and how it kind of uplifts that, and how it kind of twists it as part of this sort of, once it becomes this sort of vampiric community where they're all together and they're like forcing themselves onto them, and what that kind of represents to the rest of the people in the film. I think there's probably a lot more we could dive into. I wanted to watch it yesterday because I also wanted to pay like the $5 membership because I didn't want to pay full price. I wanted to do it on the discount day, but I was too lazy to do it, unfortunately.
Oh, like you wanted to see this movie again yesterday? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Hopefully, I'd love to see it again. But yeah, really good movie. Really,
yes.
I actually did see it again yesterday on a discount day.
Oh, there you go. So it's a lot more fresh in your mind than it is in all of ours.
Correct. Yeah, that's why I've been able to remember some specific things. Everything you said obviously is valid and is true about the movie.
See, like it's been 3 weeks since I've seen it, so that's why I didn't. It's not as fresh in my mind as Zack's, but
I will say there is one thing. I hope it's not too much of a spoiler, but the one thing I'll leave you on is the first time we see the vampire character, he's running away from Choctaw Native American vampire hunters. And I'm like, man, we need to see more Native American vampire hunters. That idea is so cool. The movie doesn't follow up on it too much because it wants to focus on everything else, which is fine. But I love the idea of Depression era Native American vampire hunters. Yes.
Maybe they'll do that as a prequel. Who knows?
I feel like this movie should be like a one and done, maybe a spin-off, maybe, but I don't know. I love the idea of Native American vampire hunters.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a spin-off. That'd be cool. They're hunting vampires.
Also, thank you, Ryan Coogler, for not incorporating a million jump scares a minute into this movie.
Yeah, there are a few though.
But thank you for not doing it just to do it. Just because it's a horror movie is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done a drama, he's done a sports film, and he's done superhero films, and now he's done a horror film. Do you think he's going through all the genres?
So next would be a comedy, maybe.
Comedy,
Like a romantic comedy,
or a western,
or a musical. Although this was kind of like
almost a musical.
This was almost a musical.
Yeah, there you
Maybe
go.
not for his next one.
Wikipedia calls it a 2025 American musical horror film, which is very funny to call it that.
American musical horror film. Oh man!
I've never seen anything like that before, ever.
I mean, the only thing I can really think of is like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, the musical elements are way more diegetic than non-diegetic, so I'll take that as you will. Where in musicals, it's like almost fourth wall breaking in a way.
Yes.
All right. Pause.
Well, now that we're moving on to what's it called? The stunt category.
Oh yeah. So recently there was a stunt category finally added to the Academy Awards. Yay!
Finally.
Finally. It only took like decades, but yeah, it's gonna debut with the 100th Academy Awards in 2028. So that'll be exciting. They have best casting next year, but so when I was thinking about this long deserved category for the Oscars, I was thinking about some of my favorite stunts that I've seen in movies, and I was wondering some favorite stunts you guys have seen in movies. What comes for me to mind is obviously recently, and with it coming out, Tom Cruise and the Mission Impossible movies and some other side movies that he's done. The James Bond films, some of the superhero films, some war films I've seen. I thought some of the stuff for 1917 I remember was really good. I really liked the stunt work in No Time to Die, the opening scene when he's on Italy on the motorcycle. I thought that was really cool.
For James Bond, the at least of Daniel Craig's tenure, the stunt that I think of is the scene where he's chasing the guy through. I think they're in South Africa.
Oh yeah, that's it. Casino Royale, right?
In Casino Royale.
Yes. Yeah, it was either South Africa or Bermuda. Not Bermuda. Bahamas.
No, that was in the next section.
Oh, that's right. That was in the next one, right? I get those confused. They came out so quickly.
So he was in Africa in the first scene, and then he next traveled to Bahamas, and then he was in Montenegro.
Yeah, so yeah, I remember that was a cool scene.
No, then in Bahamas, I think he went to Florida, and then they went to Montenegro.
Montenegro, yeah. And then some non-actor stunt work, like this is more special effects, but I remember Inspector, that huge explosion of Blofeld's lair. I think that broke a world record for largest explosion in a movie.
Now Michael Bay is gonna try to do that.
Yeah. So I was wondering what were some of your, I know it's true, Alex. Yeah, Michael Bay doing his stunt work or lack thereof.
No, he wants to have the biggest explosion in Hollywood.
Exactly. Yeah, him or was it Roland Emmerich?
Oh yeah.
So I was wondering, talking about stunts and with the new Oscar category, what have been some of your favorite stunts in movies or favorite actors that have done stunts?
So mine is Tom Cruise, and it's in one of the Mission Impossible movies. I forget which one it is, but he's
the one when he's on the side of the plane.
Yes, that one.
Is that Fallout?
It's either It's either 5 or 6. I'm not too certain on that, but it's
Yeah,
definitely
that was one. I thought of that one too.
It's definitely either 5 or 6. But anyway, it's on the side of a plane. And he's there for like, I don't know, like a few minutes. I'm like, how are you not dead, bro? But stunts that do not count are the stupid ones in space in the Fast and Furious movies. Those do not count.
And I think Tom Cruise is making a movie in space. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
It'll be better than any of the Fast and Furious movies, I can tell you that.
Exactly.
I'm not saying
yeah.
I'm not going to say any stunts in any of the Fast and Furious movies because all those movies are fucking dumb.
I mean, some of the earlier stunts in those movies aren't probably bad, but they get more cartoony as the series went on.
Yes, like fucking cars in space and
the giant submarine.
Yeah, I think that was in the 8th one.
The 8th one. That's when, for me, the franchise like jumped the shark.
Supposedly the next one is the last one, but I'm calling bullshit until it actually happens.
I know they said that about Jurassic World, but then look what happened.
Right. But back onto that, I like all the stunts Tom Cruise does in the Mission Impossible movies.
Mm-hmm.
Any particular standout for you?
Yeah, that one I was just talking about where he's on like the side of the plane.
Was there one with a building? Like he jumps off of, what was it, the tallest building in the world, at least at that time?
I think it still, isn't it the Burj Khalifa?
Oh, it is. You're right. And that's
Khalifa.
is it Abu Dhabi or Dubai? Oh, where's that one? That place where all the tall buildings are now.
I think that was the 4th one.
The Burj Khalifa is in Dubai.
Dubai, yes. I knew it was that part of the world, yes. Yeah, that was in one of the movies, I think, too.
But it happened in the 4th one, now that you say that. I believe.
Yeah, it's 828 meters, 2,717 feet.
That is very... Like, how is Tom Cruise not dead doing all this?
I mean, I think on one of the movies, he, like, broke his ankle, I think. Like, he's gotten some injuries, like, minor ones. Daniel Craig has gotten some minor injuries in the James Bond movies.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, then. But it's, like, crazy that they do all their own stunts, and these movies make a lot of money after the fact.
So then they got to keep topping their stunts.
Yep. And the thing with this Mission Impossible movie that's coming out is it is almost 3 hours, just like the last one. So I'm like very curious to see what he comes up with.
Yeah, and I wonder what the big stunt's going to be for this movie.
This is supposedly the last one, but I'm calling bullshit until it's confirmed.
Yeah, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
And then we find out it's not the final movie, like...
No. Oh, may I go?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Stunts is like a all-encompassing thing. It's like 1v1 fights or big battles or various actions that you could take, like running, or you're interacting with some sort of like a big object or something like that. It does mean a lot of things, and like it could mean like car chases and shit like that. So, and there have been a lot of stunts in like the 100+ years of cinema. Some that come to my mind, the hallway scene in Old Boy, I think is fantastic. And a lot of some of my favorite stunts is kind of coordination with how the stunts are coordinated within the scene and the sort of, within the mise en scène. and how it works with the cinematography, kind of like a back and forth between that. Shootouts are always something that's coordinated like that as well. So there have been a lot of good shootouts and a lot of good car chase scenes as well. I know that they're Fury Road, what they do with the car chase scenes and how the stunts and the people on poles connected to cars just like flopping around. Watching that is just like, oh my gosh.
I know it's a shame that that Academy Award category didn't exist for that movie to win that, because it would have definitely been the shoe-in.
I mean, it did win for all the major technical categories.
It did. It won the Matt's talked about it. Yeah, I think it did win the SAG award for best stunt ensemble. So
yes, SAG has a stunt category, and it has for almost 15 some odd years.
Yeah.
But the Oscars never had it. So what else? There was obviously it's stuff from very some great stunts could be from some big budget stuff. Matrix is a great example of that. I think the stunts and the visual effects work that's in the Matrix kind of changed the game in a lot of respect.
Yeah, there was some good. I mean, I haven't seen them the entire movies, but just clips I've seen, and really revolutionary stunt work.
And meanwhile, you also have some very rugged, independent kind of stunt work that's done in a film like Who Killed Captain Alex, for example. While the visual effects aren't the best in that film, the big charm in that film is the stunt work coordination with that film.
Yeah, and not this Alex.
No, not our Alex, but yeah, Who Killed Captain Alex is Uganda's first action film, and it became a big meme when it was released online around. Well, the trailer's been around since 2010, but it finally got released on line about 2015, and it's a great film because there's they're making a film because they're passionate about making a film, especially an action film. So there's a lot of real work done into the actual physical stunt work that they do in the film and coordination with that. It's really good if you take a watch with that.
I thought you said on Vine.
On YouTube. It's on YouTube. You can actually find the full film.
But didn't I think that movie's kind of bad?
There's a lot of very not great computer visual effects in the film. It's very memeable, but I really like it because it's because there's obviously a lot of passion behind making it, and you can kind of tell.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and stunts can be stylized, like what we see in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh yeah, other great stunt work. Yep.
A lot of great stunt work, or take a lot of visual cues from stuff from other films, like we see in the Kill Bill films.
Oh, those are other movies that have great stunt work. Tarantino really.
One that comes to mind is the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean films.
Oh yes. I'll talk about whatever poles going on to, instead of vehicles, going on ships and all that, and the water scenes and some of the jumps and stuff. Really cool.
Are you talking about when they gave a shit making those movies?
Yes.
Yes, the first 3.
Because they stopped giving a shit after the 3rd one. That's the joke.
Yeah. What else? There's the scene in The Fugitive where it's right after the scene where it's Ford and Jones and they're in the pipe, and he's like, "I didn't kill my wife," and he's like, "I don't care," and he jumps.
Oh, my dad loves that line.
I finally saw that movie, and I was like, oh, I thought that scene was going to be more towards the end, not like 30 minutes into the movie.
But the one person that I think epitomizes stunt work in all of cinema, probably even more so than Tom Cruise or even Jackie Chan, who does have some really good stunt works, like when he goes down the pole in the mall. In that, I think that's from Police Story. The one person who, in my mind, is the stunt work king is silent film actor Buster Keaton,
who's known from movies like The General.
Yeah.
For those who don't know.
Yeah, check out his films. I've seen a few of them. He's got a lot of short films as well. They're really great. There's this one scene where he tries to jump from one building to another off of like a diving board, and then he fucking misses it. Goes through like several awnings. I know that's the scene that inspired Spielberg for a stunt scene in Temple of Doom. There's this great he has like a lot of great visual gags that involve some like old-time visual effects, like this one stunt where it makes it look like he is just riding the arms of a motorcycle with no one driving behind him, and is going full speed on the motorcycle over train tracks right before the train comes by. Just fantastic stuff like that. Once the scene, probably one of the most well-known scene from The General, where he has where there's a bunch of like railroad ties that are in the way of the train, and he has to quickly throw the railroad tie at another railroad tie out of the way of the oncoming train while he is like on the front of the train.
That's great.
It's really great. And then obviously the iconic scene from Steamboat Bill Jr., where he could have died doing this. Like a lot of the stunts he did himself. He even got injured doing some of them, like the one where he literally broke his neck and didn't know he had like a spinal fracture until like a decade later after doing this stunt with a water spout that he fell off of.
Jeez.
But
Jesus
the one
Christ.
where he could have died is one of his most famous stunts, where he the front of a house during a storm falls on top of him, and he it lands perfectly, so that way he goes right through the open window of the front of the house. Like 1 inch to the left or right, Buster Keaton would have died making that film. And even the cinematographer couldn't watch when this stunt was to be happened, because they used a real 2-story facade to do that shot.
And this was The General, you said?
This was in Steamboat Bill Jr. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is The General's the one I've seen?
Yeah, it's the one I've seen the whole thing of. I've seen parts of some of the other ones.
There's also a great one where it's a gag where he grabs a moving car and it just takes him with him, and he's like like flying in air. Very good. It really is like he really did some like death-defying stunts back in the day. Even more so than some of his contemporaries like Lloyd or Chaplin.
I was gonna say Lloyd also came to mind. The famous
they've also done
scene.
like really interesting stunts or and a lot of it was special effects as well. Think of the scene scene in Modern Times where Chaplin's on the skates, and it seems like he blindfolded is about to fall off the edge of this unrailed part of the mall. But really, it's a very interesting visual effects gag where we have a matte painting in front and him being filmed from way behind.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they always use like a lot of visual effects, and Keaton is really the one that really seemed to put his neck on the line for a lot of the big gags of his
Literally
films.
his neck on the line.
Literally his neck on the line. So there's that, but like throughout history, there's been a lot of stunts. I recently watched the film Wings, which featured a lot of like aviator stunts. Aviation films were very big back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. One big stunt that comes to mind, Ben-Hur, the scene with the chariots.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Stunts have made up like a bunch of films of various different genres, of various different types throughout the history of cinema, and it is about time that a large awards is finally recognizing it.
Agreed.
Yes. In other news, the Golden Globes are going to do an award for Best Podcast. So
we got a chance.
We've got a chance. We could get a Golden Globe.
We can.
I find it ridiculous. It's like,
in reality, it better go to Amy Poehler's podcast, but it won't.
I think it's ridiculous that it's the Golden Globes that are doing it. I mean, if it's movie related, maybe, but I feel like
that's why we should win, because ours is movie related.
I feel like it should be more this is a award that should be more in like the music awards and audio awards rather than with the other movie awards, you know?
Right.
Oh
I just don't listen to enough podcasts to have an opinion on anyone particularly.
Fair enough.
Like, what is it? The Grammys?
Yeah, they have like audio.
The Grammys should have a best podcast.
They should. Yeah, maybe they will now. I don't know.
Not the Golden Globes. They don't even have any of the technical categories that you see at the Oscars.
No,
they don't even have they don't have a best documentary. I mean, they used to like for a couple of years in the 70s, but they don't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't in the last like 40 years.
Those whores.
They don't have cinematography. They don't have editing. They don't
They
have
used to
sound.
have cinematography, I think, a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away. Yes. Anyway,
but yeah, that was good. Yeah, the stunt work and kind of leading into the next thing we talk about with Tom Cruise bringing the last Mission Impossible film to Cannes this week.
Yes.
Yesterday, in fact.
That's going on.
So, in honor of the Cannes Film Festival, which at the time of recording is going on as just officially started, but by the time you, my dear listener, are listening in, the winner will probably be announced. You'll already know about that, and you'll be like in the know. You'll be like, they don't even know. So, in honor of the Cannes Film Festival, I thought I might do a little history lesson.
Yay!
Woo! We love history, don't we, folks?
Oh, yes.
Especially me.
Being destroyed right in front of our very eyes.
All right, so the Cannes Festival is about 85 years old. A very old film festival, and the Cannes Film Festival is one of the most prestigious film festivals in the world. It is amongst the big 5 international film festivals. The other 3 being the Venice, the Berlin, Toronto, and Sundance.
Yes.
And is Cannes one of the oldest film festivals too?
It's actually not. Actually, Venice is older than it by almost a decade.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yes. So it's held once a year, usually around this time in Cannes, France, where all of the snooty, snobby critics go and boo a bunch of films of the year that eventually become known as classics.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm kind of like riffing on that, but
well, it is nothing
it does
against
have
our French listeners. It is in France, so the snootiness makes sense.
All right, so Cannes is this seaside town that's located on the French Riviera. If you remember Mr. Bean's Holiday,
Oh yeah.
Mr. Bean's Holiday.
Mr. Bombastic, very fantastic.
Oh man, the only time I had to evacuate my movie theater because the fire alarm went off
Was for Mr. Bean's Holiday.
It was Mr. Bean's Holiday.
I'm so sorry.
That's funny.
Yep.
So, a little history lesson on the Cannes Film Festival. So, it was started by a man named Jean Zay. So, he was a French politician. He was a minister for national education in the late 30s in France. And he decided to start work on a film festival for France in the late 30s. Starting in like 1938. He eventually found support with British and American people, and they decided on the city of Cannes to be this location for the film festival. So it was originally going to be called Le Festival International du Film. And they were going to, and the first day of the film festival was officially going to be the 31st of August, 1939. They had people like Gary Cooper, Cary Grant. They had Norma Shear, Mae West, Spencer Tracy, James Cagney, Tyrone Power. There was a bunch of people there, and they arrived on a MGM chartered ocean liner to the film festival, and they were all greeted with the first film to be premiered at the film festival. I believe it wasn't part of I think it was a out of competition film, and it was William Dieterle's fantastic version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame with Charles Laughton. Great film. So that was the opening. That would have been the opening film, and there would have been like a bunch of other films as well, like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and The Wizard of Oz and Bachelor Mother, for example.
Oh yeah, I
But
forgot The Wizard of Oz debuted at the Cannes Festival.
it actually didn't.
Oh,
So
it didn't. Sorry.
That was The Hunchback of Notre Dame was for a while the only film to premiere at the Cannes Film Festival until 1946. Now, Zach, you know a little bit of history, right?
I do.
What's the day after August 31st?
September 1st.
Was there any special events that happened on September 1st, 1939?
Oh, just something a little small, like Germany invading Poland and starting World War II.
Yes, that happened. That happened.
Yes. September 1st, 1939.
Yeah, so I actually want to briefly mention, so the reason why Jean Zay wanted to start the Cannes Film Festival was to be a kind of in opposition or part of protest to the current Venice Film Festival. You know a little bit of, do either you know where Venice is?
Italy.
And who was in charge of Italy in the late 30s?
Well, obviously not Hitler.
Mussolini.
Mussolini, yes. So, obviously it was Mussolini who was in charge, of Italy at the time, and a lot of films, like it was very fascist Italy centric. the Venice Film Festival at around this time. They had a very fascist bias.
And I would assume probably propaganda.
Like they had an award called the Mussolini Cup. Yes. Even though the film awards shouldn't have gone to a documentary because they had a separate documentary category, the film Olympia won at one of the Venice Film Festival Awards. If you don't know, Olympia is the Leni Riefenstahl Nazi propaganda film about the 1936 Olympics. Now, I hear it's a really good film, but it's also, like well made. It's also a Nazi propaganda film.
Right.
And also, there was at the 1937 Venice Film Festival, there was some interference in order to ensure that the Jean Renoir classic Grand Illusion did not win because it was very anti-war.
Makes sense.
It's a pacifist film, basically. So this was meant to be sort of in opposition to that. But unfortunately, when the film festival started, war had unfortunately broke out in Europe. And very unfortunately for Jean Zay, he was imprisoned by the Vichy government until he was eventually murdered in 1944.
Oh, that's really sad. I didn't know that.
Unfortunately, Jean Zay would not get to see the first inaugural Cannes Film Festival. The very first Cannes Film Festival would happen right after the war in the year 1946. It started the 20th of September, 1946.
Oh, right, because the World War II ended in 1945.
Yes. There are a lot of well-known films that were in competition, like Jean Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast, George Cukor's Gaslight, the film Gilda.
I recently watched Gaslight. I enjoyed it.
Alfred Hitchcock's film Notorious, Roberto Rossellini's film Rome Open City, which is one of the earliest Italian neo-realist films. And the winners at the festival, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There was 11 winners. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know why they didn't just choose. Yeah, it was they all are collective winners, and it's Brief Encounters, The Last Chance, The Lost Weekend, which would eventually win the Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Maria Candelaria, Men Without Wings, Nietzsche Nagar, Pastoral Symphony, The Red Meadows, the aforementioned Rossellini film Rome Open City, Torment, which is from Alf Sjöberg, is a Swedish film, and I believe it was written by Ingmar Bergman. And also the last one, The Turning Point.
Oh yeah, The Turning Point.
A lot of films from a lot of different countries, which is very interesting. So there was a lot of films at the competition, and then a lot of films won. So, and after that, the Cannes Film Festival would happen almost every single year with some exceptions.
So notable winners, I think, are, let's see.
Oh, yeah. So the main award at the Cannes Film Festival is known as the Palme d'Or.
In case you didn't know.
Or it used to be called the Grand Prix du Festival International du Film. The award used to be called the Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
but then that just makes me think of car. It just makes me think of car racing.
And it was once the most prestigious film of the. It's the most prestigious award at the film festival.
And I could be wrong, but Honora won it that last year, right?
Yes.
And I know Parasite won that award.
Yeah, notable films to win the award. So Honora won it last year. The year before, Anatomy of a Fall won. Triangle of Sadness and Titane, as well as Parasite, which would, like Honora, win Best Picture at the Academy Awards. The film Shoplifter, the Michael Haneke film Amor, the Terrence Malick film Tree of Life, as well as the Apajapong film Uncle Boon Me, who can recall his past lives. Ruben Ostland won twice, also for Triangle of Sadness and his film The Square.
Oh yeah.
The Romanian film 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days. Roman Polanski won for the film Elephant. Michael Moore won for the documentary Fahrenheit 9/11. And Lars von Trier won for Dancer in the Dark. I believe that was before he eventually became a persona non grata at the festival.
Oh, wait, did he get
for being edgy?
He was asked not to go to the festival, right?
Yes, that's basically what persona non grata means.
Because I heard, I heard he's kind of an asshole. Is that true?
Yeah, it's because he made like a Nazi joke, and they were like, "No, we don't want you at the award."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hear he's a bit of an ass. So, Pulp Fiction won at the awards. The Coen brothers won for their film Barton Fink. Jane Campion won for The Piano. David Lynch won for his film Wild at Heart.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Steven Soderbergh got it for one of his early films, Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
Oh, yeah. What led to the independent cinema boom in the 90s?
I think that was his first movie, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Wim Wenders won for his fantastic road film, Paris, Texas.
Oh, yeah. You recently saw that, Matt, right?
I saw it like a couple years ago. It's now
a couple years ago. Oh, you wanted to go see it at the theater. That's right.
Yes. Akira Kurosawa won it for his film Kakamusha. And Bob Fosse tied that year for it as well for his film All That Jazz.
Oh, wow.
Coppola won it twice for his film The Conversation and Apocalypse Now, the latter when he tied with the film The Tin Drum. Martin Scorsese won it for his film Taxi Driver, and Robert Altman won it for the film MASH.
I think I did know about Taxi Driver.
Michelangelo Antonioni won it for the film Blow Up, one of my favorite films. And Jacques Demy won it for his musical The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. Luchino Visconti won it for his film The Leopard! Okay. Okay. I'll let you in on the joke. There's this Monty Python sketch about it first starts off with like it was in one of these episodes where a lot of the gag was a cop comes in at the very end to arrest everyone, and then they go on a long spiel or something like that. And this particular cop goes on a long spiel about directors and stuff like that because he was arresting people on a film set of someone who was like it was like this like a old Victorian set or something like that, and his name was like Lieutenant Leopard or something like that, and he was like talking about the films of Luchino Visconti and how it inspired him so much, and how he literally changed his name to The Leopard, and he says it like that. I think it was John Cleese that plays Inspector Leopard or whatever his name was.
That makes sense.
And he says the leopard.
I love that.
So I've always, every time I now think of the film The Leopard, I just think of John Cleese just shouting the leopard.
The leopard.
Great. The leopard. Really good. And I think a couple of the last ones. The film Marty won the Palme d'Or in 1955. That would eventually go on to win Best Picture as well.
And then it wasn't until Parasite, right, that happened again.
Yes. Before that, the award was known as the Grand Prix. But now it's it's now under the category of the Palme d'Or. So Orson Welles won it for his rendition of William Shakespeare's Othello, and Henri Georges Clouzot won for the film Wages of Fear, which I have to see, though I have seen the remake Sorcerer. So I'm very excited to see Wages of Fear. Just a couple notable ones of the film festival. So basically, what happens is the Palme d'Or is the film, and there's like a group of films, are usually around 20, that go in competition to compete for the Palme d'Or, and there's a bunch of other awards that they can get as well. Like now there's the grand prize, which is basically second place. And then there's the jury prize, which is basically like third place, basically. You can get best director, best actor, actress, and screenplay. There's other sections like the Un Certain Regard, which is basically a section of the film festival. They take in films that are sort of innovative or daring or different in some way, and they compete for that. There's also other awards that are added, like the Fipresci Prize, which I believe is a kind of like award that's sort of international. They have it at the other film festivals as well. It prizes films from various different sections of the Cannes Film Festival or just of other film festivals as well. They've not given it to various directors like Robert Eggers has it. Pedro Almodovar has one. Andrei Tarkovsky has one. A lot of prominent film directors have gotten this sort of grand prize. They have the Queer Palm, which is for best LGBT related films. They have the Le Océan d'Or, which is best documentary. Various international Critics Week prizes. The Palm Dog, which goes to best canine performance. And many other different ones. They also have a category for short films as well. And like I was saying, they've had the Cannes Film Festival almost unimpeded for 85 years. Well, I guess since 1946, technically. Although there have been a couple times in which they haven't done the awards. 1950, for example. I think it was because of construction or storm. They didn't have it, and the festival had to move the year after or something along those lines. The festival was halted in 1968 because many directors like Milos Forman withdrew their film, and Louis Malle eventually took over the Cannes Film Festival in solidarity with the then ongoing French the May 1968 strikes between students and laborers. That might be something I need to fresh up on my history of and learn about those. So And obviously they didn't have the Cannes Film Festival in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
Although they have released the films that would have been part of the Cannes Film Festival, which included films like Soul, Another Round, 2 films from the Steve McQueen show Small Axe, just to name a few.
Very cool.
And right now, the film festival is going on as we speak. But as you listen, it's probably already over. Every year they pick a main competition sort of board, where members of the specific board that are in charge of the Cannes Film Festival choose various jury members. So it's like a jury that watch all the films and basically eventually decide on the winner in each category. So this year, the jury president is French actress Juliette Binoche, and there's the other members of the main competition jury board include Halle Berry, Diendo Hamida, who's a Congolese filmmaker, Hong Sang-soo, a very well-known South Korean filmmaker, Padyar Kapadia, who is an Indian filmmaker who did last year's film All We Imagine as Light, which is a very good film I highly recommend, Carlos Regadas, who's a Mexican filmmaker, Albar Warwalker, I fucked up her name, but she's an Italian actress and filmmaker, Jeremy Strong, I think you know Jeremy Strong, and
Yes.
Laila Silimani, who's a Moroccan writer. So those people are in charge of the who's going to win the Palme d'Or. And maybe in essence, the film that's going to compete in next year's Best Picture lineup, because there seems to be a correlation recently with the Cannes Film Festival winner as well as the film that competes at the Academy Awards. I believe you, Zack, sent a article from Variety about Kansas now impact on the Academy Awards.
Yes, I did send you that. That's right.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Honora, Anatomy of a Fall, and Triangle of Sadness, which won the Palme d'Or last couple times, would eventually become Oscar nominees. Very surprisingly, too.
And they're all filmed by Neon. I just made that connection.
So
yeah, so
is it a Neon connection or is it a Cannes Film Festival connection? I don't know.
I know, it's like that's another whole article, but it'd be interesting what Neon picks up this year.
Oh, definitely. I believe that's where we'll leave off. Maybe next time we could talk about who won.
Yes.
It might be a little hard because we probably won't see it yet, and it probably won't get distribution until later in the year, or hell, maybe not even until next year. But only time will tell.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Zack, I've got one question for you.
Yes.
Do your students? I was thinking about this, and I want to ask you about your students.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have a problem with your students and artificial intelligence?
It was a problem like last year or 2 years ago. It's still a little bit of a problem, but not as much because of awareness about it. I would say it's definitely a problem, but definitely could be something that is under kind of control.
Yeah, I just wanted to briefly ask you about what is school now like under like the current seemingly mainstay of artificial intelligence. I have my opinions on AI and stuff like that, but I want to know what you're on the front lines. You're you're in the trenches. I want to know what your opinion is on the thing, and I'm not doing this to pad out about it a little bit more time.
Yes, I would say that the policies with so like AI started off with like people just or kids using it to like get research and all that for essays and stuff, and then it soon after, not soon after, became something where students used AI to completely write essays on various subjects and stuff like that. But the funny thing is that for them doing that, the AI uses language that a student wouldn't say, some language that even a teacher might not say in their own writing. So they get found out pretty quickly, and especially if it's a student that, maybe doesn't produce the best work, it's okay. It's not they're not failing or anything, but they're certainly not like an A student, and it's become a problem in schools. There have been more usage of plagiarism like tools to like double check on plagiarism and stuff like that. There is like a website, I forget what it's called, that a teacher brought up to me once that can detect if something is AI. I don't know if it's like in wide use, but it's definitely something else that can be used to combat the plagiarism and AI and stuff like that. But
I think it's called Safe Search.
yeah, something like that. It's that one or another one, but yeah, so it's definitely a problem in schools, but I think it's somewhat under control. I think this year in classrooms that I've worked in, there's only been like maybe one or two kids that have used it all year.
Hmm.
So
Huh.
not too bad. I know one teacher, an English teacher, he did a funny assignment where he had students write an essay, purposefully write an essay using AI and see what it spat out.
Hmm.
So it's kind of cool that teachers are, I wouldn't say embracing AI, but are trying to make some use of it as a teaching tool and maybe to have students learn how to use it more responsibly and things like that. I mean,
What is your school's policy on it? Is it considered like cheating or something like that?
yeah,
And
I don't know
then
if to
what
check.
is your school's policy on like failing students
Mhm.
if they cheat like that?
Oh yeah, so that's a good
I don't know.
question. So
I'm just interested on what this is from a teacher's perspective.
yeah, so I'll have to check the handbook at my school, but I would believe that yeah, it would fall AI use would fall under like a cheating plagiarism category. I think that I would say for right now, AI is pretty restricted at the school. I don't think it's blocked. Like I don't think ChatGPT is blocked or any other AI use website is blocked, but I definitely it's frowned upon for kids to use it and students. And I would say, yeah, I believe that if it is used, it would count as cheating and they would get a zero on the assignment and could not make it up, is what I would say. Comparable or some the same as if a student cheated on an essay by having someone do it for them, or they plagiarized a previous essay, or things like that.
Hmm.
So people are just lazy.
Yeah, it's another way for people to be lazy and to do stuff the last minute.
I mean, yeah, in my opinion, it seems like AI is just another form of cheating. So it's you gotta treat it as if it's cheating, right? So
Hmm.
if they use AI, I think you should fail them.
Yes, I agree
and
with
and it
that. And
and it might be harsh, and I don't know where some places they could like, oh, you not fail people or something like that, which I
mhm.
think would be ridiculous. But it seems like Seems like there's like at least a no tolerance for cheating, which I think is fine.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it was more of a problem now, like when AI was big, like right after the pandemic, and I think it's like kids are aware that they'll get a 0 on it, and that teachers are aware of AI and schools are aware of it, so they're more cautious about it. That's why, like I said, there's only been like 2 students this whole year that I've seen in classrooms that have used it, and I believe they did get 0s on it, and probably I would assume contacting home, depending on how big the assignment is. If it's like a big essay, but if it's like a smaller assignment, I don't think they would just get a 0 on. I don't think they would be like they wouldn't necessarily get in trouble like at home or anything. But it's definitely something that I think schools are aware of, and kids, if they do use it, they might use it now instead of cheating. They might use it now for like research or to find other websites, kind of like how they would tell us in school about Wikipedia.
Oh yeah.
That Wikipedia is good because you can get other sites from it, not directly from Wikipedia. But yeah, AI is interesting. I mean, as you can probably guess, since I mean, we're fairly on the old, we're fairly older now, but we're not super far from.
I'm a boomer about AI. I'm like, they shouldn't
Well,
have it. Generative AI is the devil. It should stay away from art and politics, and we shouldn't be using so much, and it uses so much resources and is bad environmentally, at least the ones that are that we currently have availability for, the big ones, like a chat GPT and shit like that. And I don't like it being used in schools. It seems your school is a lot better than some other, because I've read like in some places like it's really bad.
Yeah, my school it's not too bad, Matt, which is a good thing, and we've had like one meeting about it this year, just like to be aware of it and to use like um the check the plagiarists like tools and stuff. I think Google has one because that's what mostly the kids use is Google Classroom and Google Drive and stuff. And it's hard to avoid it now when you have like social media apps and Google itself now. When you do a Google search, Google will have an AI appear in the front of it. So it's like you're trying to get the kids not to use it, but then you have companies and even now countries like investing in AI, which is so weird to me. Like this like AI this AI race, like arms race, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and now it's just slop on Facebook. You see
Exactly.
so much slop.
And as you guys know, like it's
from,
probably kids doing stupid shit with it too.
and then like people, sometimes older people falling for it or a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like I know this is separate, but like the deep fakes.
Oh yeah.
I know that was a big problem in the last election.
Then you also have like those comments. It'll be a woman with 3 boobs and comments underneath that are obviously bots that are like, you're such a beautiful woman,
Exactly. And like
it's fake.
yeah, and those images of like, oh my god, like that. What was it? The big one was the recent big one was that image of Trump as the Pope.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's right.
Oh yeah. By the way, aside before we go back on the AI, there's a new Pope. I know I made a joke about it before about
You
there's this job, but I'm not qualified and it's a distance, stuff like that. Well, now there's a new Pope, and he's a Midwesterner named Bob.
Yes, it's not Donald Trump.
No, and it's not Donald Trump, but it's a Midwesterner named Bob.
And I love
Yeah.
that.
Our first American Pope. I never thought we'd live to see one.
Yeah, but I feel like he'll divide Catholicism for his idea of like how to make pizza. Like
That's
where
Yeah,
you
true.
get the best pizza.
right. He was dividing which baseball team does he like, the Chicago Cubs or the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, which
I think
is
the
it?
answer was the Chicago White Sox, his brother said.
Yeah, because there was a video of him at the World Series in 2005, and the White Sox were in it.
Yep.
I know he couldn't.
Yeah,
have
and there was literally a camera, like the camera, like focused on him at the game. It's so strange.
I know he couldn't have picked Pope Bob. He is now Pope Leo the 14th, but I like Pope Bob. But I'll call him Pope Leo. I don't want a dead name.
Yeah, that
No,
was one of
but
the funniest
Pope
things.
Bob would be
That was
cool.
one of the funniest things in Alex and Thunderbolts was that recurring joke about Bob.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny.
Yes, it was.
So to end off the discussion on AI, I have not yet seen this movie, but how is the film AI Artificial Intelligence?
It is good.
I have not seen it for years, but I remember liking it.
All right. And do you know who distributed it?
DreamWorks. I think.
It was split between DreamWorks and who else?
Universal?
No.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. Now we've come back around. We're back on Warner Brothers. Fuck David Zaslav. Have a good night.
The Leopard.